Hello and welcome. This is Jonsbo Z20 Mesh version. I've reviewed Z20 regular glass panel version about a year ago. Jonsbo has quietly released a mesh version since then. If you dislike glass side panels like I do, this Mesh Z20 version is a better choice. I am comparing Jonsbo C6 and Z20 side by side. Both are strangely similar cases. C6 is 16 liters case and Z20 is 20 liters case. Yes, technically speaking, Z20 is not that much larger than C6 while allowing full tower CPU coolers with almost no restriction with GPU length. Size-wise, Z20 is slightly narrower while clearly longer. The overall impression is that Z20 is just a longer version of C6. To be honest with you, Z20 is what C6 Max should have been. Meanwhile, the box contains various accessories, including a top handle, GPU support basket, SFX to ATX basket, and finally, a box of screws and zip ties. It certainly has premium feel to the approach. This level of attention to detail is not found in Jonsbo D32 as well as C6. It's interesting because all three have a similar price point. One aspect I do like about Jonsbo Z20 is the optional handle which, once installed, feels very solid. The whole material thickness of Z20 is 2 mm including the handle. Not many cases uses such thick panels. The whole case feels very solid and heavy. This is with a motherboard installed. I can certainly use a tall tower cooler, but this should suffice with ample space for air circulation. The CPU is Intel 265K. RGB will be limited to RAM and CPU fan. With the mesh side panel, it should look subtly pretty in dim light. It won't burn your eyeballs for sure. I am trying to see how I should place a SFX power supply here. I am not worried about the cooling itself. Rather, I am trying to see which side fits and handles the power cord extension better. After fiddling with it a bit, it looks like the power supply fan will face inwards. It shouldn't matter either way, because the case has good enough cooling. With a power supply installed, the build is pretty much done. I just need to install a GPU, add two 120mm fans, and finally do some cable management, and that is it. Yes, the case will have a single exhaust fan on the back. That is enough for this case. And this is it. There isn't much space for cable management, but it's there. Cable management or not, it will be barely seen due to its mesh panel anyway. Well, time to reroute some of cables. The back panel won't close like this. With how little space there is for cable rerouting, I don't think this case can support more than a pair. You can certainly install more, but be prepared to get really messy inside. Well, remember that this is a 20 liters case. It is a relatively small case. This is actually my main computer, and the main activity for this machine is video rendering. Therefore, using Blender application to simulate 100% CPU load is actually a very realistic scenario in my use case. GPU is there simply to assist my workload instead of gaming. And the games I do play barely uses the GPU. RimWorld is my most favorite game, by the way, and I can play it on iGPU perfectly fine. From what I can tell, the temperature stabilized at 94 degrees Celsius at full load. The CPU cooler inside is ID Cooling IS-65, and I personally reviewed it on this channel. In open air test, it did around 75 degrees Celsius. In a case, it did 94 degrees. Something to keep in mind. Will adding more fans help? Absolutely. But swapping out the CPU heatsink to a tower cooler will benefit the most. Either way, I intend to keep it as is for now because I don't see the need. What's important to me is that it is not thermal throttling. In other words, the machine is operating within its spec temperature range. Another aspect is that the case wasn't burning hot during this test. The exact same hardware used to be inside Jonsbo C6, and the whole case was burning hot during the same workload. This means is that Z20 has superior airflow through the case. It has to, since the air in and out take holes are so much larger. As for GPU, it's not even a concern here with it hanging there for about 60 degrees Celsius. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching and see you next time.